All right, everybody, Jason here. And today's video, I wanted to talk a little bit about the question of whether it's right or wrong to have false hope to use as your motivation when going through a breakup or going through no contact. So what I mean by this is I can't be the only one that does this, but when you going through a breakup and you're in that state of despair and low vibration and grief, right? And it feels like a common thing that really pulls you out of it and starts giving you motivation to improve yourself is the false hope that if you improve yourself, then they will come back to you. A lot of people do no contact for this reason, for this motivation of no contact works. If you don't speak to them, they start to miss you and then they'll contact you, right? And this is true. However, it's always this thing of you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't try to improve yourself or do no contact to try and get them back. Of course, you shouldn't do it. It should be about you and your journey, but of course you're going to do it because you're in this bargaining stage of grief, right? And yeah, you can read as much as you want about, you should be doing it for you. Those words are sort of meaningless in that period. I know I can speak from experience, right? The only thing that started to give me any kind of hope or any kind of energy during a breakup or no contact was that false hope. Even though I knew it was false hope, but there was still a hope, right? That if you improve yourself, they might come back. And whether this is right or wrong is what I've just been thinking about this morning. Because, the 5 triangles was created during a breakup. And it was just my method to try and kind of make it more about me rather than make it about someone else. Let's bring the energy back to me. Because what I always do, I always lean into the false hope. I listened to a Joe Rogan once, and I think he said something as long as you're doing good stuff, it makes you do good stuff. Who cares, what the motivation is, within reason. It's not the exact quote, but it was something like that. And it sort of resonated with me because it's well, either I don't have the false hope and I stay wallowing, or I do have the false hope. It will raise my vibration, give me energy in my body to get me start exercising, to get me start improving my body, improving my job, my income, my mind, all of these things so that I could be the best me, not yet for me, but in the hopes of someone else, you get your ex back. And that's not perfect, right? But I always thought with a view that I kind of knew, I know, I'm playing the part here. I know that I'm just using this false hope and I should be doing this for me. And eventually I will. But for now, I need a rocket up my ass, man, to get me out of this lower vibration. So I cannot answer what's the right way or the wrong way to go about this. All I can say is my experience, right? And ultimately, I think what it comes down to is bravery. And the linch point between lower vibration, higher vibration is courage. Once you get to courage, you can enter into higher vibration, start feeling the good emotions again after a breakup, right? And I think in this context, courage and bravery, it's the bravery to face that they're not going to come back, right? They might do, but you have to be of the mindset that they're not, and you have to let go. But getting to this point, you're not going to be able to get to that point immediately, right? Because you're lost in too much apathy or grief or just sadness, right? And so getting to that point takes bravery to face the reality. And if you use that false hope to get you to that point of bravery, and then you face the reality that, man, this self-improvement should be about you, not them, then the beautiful thing is you're already in a much better spot, because you've already done a lot of self-improvement. You're much better off than when you started, right? So although you might drip down again to lower vibration, I know I did in the past when I faced this reality, when I suddenly realized, oh, there is no hope, and I've been doing all of this self-improvement for them, and then I kind of lose motivation, right? I lose purpose, because everything was about improving for them. And this comes down to sort of being empathic or anxious attachment, which I will do more videos on in the future. You kind of like face a void, right? A motivation void. It's like, if I was doing all of this for them, now what do? I've completely lost the motivation to work out. And this void is so important, right? That's like why it's one of the elements, right? Space, void. It's so important because it's an empty space for you to fill. Right? There's filling your own cup, all of this stuff. And what it comes down to is like, you really have to work on finding the self-motivation. I mean, when you're emotionally attached to someone, it's very easy to use them as motivation. It really fuels you. It's easy to create an emotionally compelling goal when you're emotionally attached to a person. When you have to sort of strive away from that emotional attachment and let go of them and fill that empty void of motivation with what you really want, that's where it gets tricky. And that was the point where I started creating the 5 triangles, which you'll see more about on this channel. I won't go into detail here. But just a system to figure out, okay, what are my goals? Who am I? What do I like? What do I want to do? What are the steps I need to get towards these? And, what area of life am I trying to improve? It's just getting very tactical about it. To answer the question, is it right or wrong to use false hope as initial motivation in order to get you out of your low vibration after a breakup? What I could say is what works for me and what has worked in the past. I'd much rather face that void when I'm ready, when I'm brave enough. And, there might be some people that are very good at letting go of people. I could do it instantly and no, that's great. But for me personally, I'm not very good at it. I put a lot of work into getting good at it. And sometimes it is good, but there's other times it can really hit you and you're like, wow, what's all this work that I've done on myself? And then it's devastating, right? Why can't I remember to do what I was teaching people to do? But thankfully, if you build a sandcastle on the beach and the ocean washes it away, it took away your sandcastle, but it didn't take away your ability to make it again, right? And because you already made it, you know exactly how to make it again. It's just picking yourself up and putting in the effort. As annoying and laborious as it might seem, you gotta build that sandcastle again. And whatever motivates you to pick up that bucket and spade, use it, right? And that's what I say to myself anyway. If you want to see more videos about letting go and relationship stuff, then please let me know in the comments below.
But until next time, thanks for joining, and I'll see you later.